lovely to meet you here on your mat. um, it's a fun time that I think we're all going through. I wanted to see if you got a message about the ball. If you didn't and you have a ball that you know you can find it, just grab a ball. Like a tennis ball, doesn't have to be new or anything. I want to use this potentially today, and we'll definitely use it on Thursday. A tennis ball is always good. It's like the right, almost pressure, if you will. And so we can just put that wherever it needs to be on a mat. I like to always make sure too, like when I practice, that I have stuff. Like I always like to have a blanket. If anybody needs bolsters and wants to buy a bolster, I have some almost brand new bolsters at my house. But if you have like a block or a thick pillow, is always good too. But if you need like any kind of regular yoga equipment, I do have some too. But it's always nice to have these pieces, especially a blanket is always good to prop under your bottom when you need it. Because what we're trying to do, I think, through this practice of yoga is helping our physical form, at least this is the guidance, helping our physical form come into its natural state of being. Because a lot of times, like when we walking through life, we don't really take note of no things. We see very narrow-mindedly with all the things that we're in life, the things that we play and the things that we create and the things that come to teach us. And so our physical form, probably mostly people forget about that. They're all in their head. And then your head translates the story that the body feels at a deep cellular level, and then it comes out in the body as symptoms or disease. But this practice that we practice together is about helping you come into your form, into your body, find the spaces and places in your body that allows your body to expand from within, but to create strength and structure. So let's get started. That was just the preamble. So making sure that you got anything that you need, the little ball. Let's take a nice, strong, straight spine. So we're going to sit nice and tall. And I like to just like in a spiral. Like your hands come to your inner thighs and it gently draws it down, and your hand on your bum, literally, and it's going to slide across the skin. You're not really pulling too much. It's more like a spiral sensation. You do each side. This way, it helps you to sit nice and tall. So this pelvic thing, like if we tighten our spine, we're going to sit with a round spine. So if we're sitting right on the floor, we always want to see if we can put something at our bottom, like an old pillow or a blanket. So your hips are slightly higher than your knees. So it gives us that foundation. And even how your legs are on your mat or on your blanket, allow your legs to almost fold easily, so it's not too much straining. And let your hands rest on your knees. And it's the weight of your hands that press your knees down to the ground. Again, the weight of your hands is what presses the knees down to the ground. And so the weight of the hands allow the spine to actually grow taller. So feel that as you breathe in. And hold that just for a moment, your breath in, that height. At the top here, sip more breath in. And then let the breath go, but keep all that space. And in your mind's eye, you can imagine like all your vertebrae fall perfectly into place. all the way down towards the earth. You feel your tailbone, and it rounds down into the earth. It's like a root. And again, every breath you feel your spine get longer, the spaces between the spine, between the vertebrae. Each space gets a little taller and there's more space, so whatever's between there, that juicy disc, has space to, in yoga we'd call it, have a lot of ojas, a lot of fluidity to it, like a gentle glow, like the moon. And with every exhale, you keep that space, you keep that height. You feel your bones, it's like as you inhale too, it's like the bones move in space, like away from the body. They expand away, they create space between the joints, between the ribs. All bones in the body create space. So whatever's between there, all that other tissue, all of that too has this glow like the moon. Again, in yoga we call it like an ojas, like a fluidity, liquid quality to it. And it glows. So you can imagine in your mind as you breathe in, as those bones, the physical parts, your matter move away from the center. It creates space. Space within the body. So imagine space between, even where, if you could bring your mind to the edges of your bones, into a joint, maybe into like your shoulder or your neck. And if you could imagine that on each bone there was this fine type of skin that has this, again, liquid quality to it. And between surfaces, between where bones meet, there's even more space, even where that liquid light touches. And with every breath, see if you can hold that space. Feel it between every bone, every muscle. And as you hold that space, it's like in that you find a sense of divine alignment. It's like your body naturally is like a puzzle, falls into place. So at the top of your inhale, see if you can hold that space. Hold the breath in and reach the tip of your tongue behind the two front teeth. Eyes are softly closed and the gaze is between the eyebrow. And then slowly exhale through the nose and keep all that space. Again, inhaling deeply. Exhaling fully. Allowing the breath to be gently pressed out the upper chest all the way down towards the navel. Again, as you inhale, you feel your navel expand and all that extension and space. Space between the bones, between all your matter. Imagine you can take a photograph just of this moment, a memory, of this sort of energetic imprint, and feel it in your physical form too. Maybe your spine feels longer. Maybe your body feels lighter. Just notice in your body what it feels like, what shows up. Maybe some places calling your attention. Maybe something feels like it could even be aching, and just notice it. You can breathe into it. You can bring all your imagination into that space. You can imagine that you could just stretch it open. And as you breathe out, all that, whatever's in there, it just dissipates. So maybe you move your ribs side to side. Just try this out. You can use your hands on your knees to press the ribs out to one side and the other ear, excuse me, the other ear to the shoulder. Breathe in here, feel the crown of your head as it pulls away from you. Soften your face and your jaw, and then the opposite shoulder. And then come to the opposite side as your ear hangs towards your shoulder. And the first few breaths, you're really stretching through the side of your body. And you investigate with your breath, the shape, seeing what the body needs. You can move your neck, your head, your nose. It's gentle, tiny movements. See, even your eyeball. And then go to the opposite side. Just stretch. And then you can even start to curl your upper back towards the space behind you. And then bring it back and then towards the other side. And you're going to just go from side to side, like backwards, making like a semicircle. Connect with your breath and your breathing. Eyes are softly closed, and really connect to your breath. If you need to hang out in a section, you're trying to create space. If you can imagine upper part of your spine, you can even lightly tuck your tailbone under, because that gives your lowest back a gentle stretch. Not too much though. Really focusing on that upper part of our chest too, the thoracic spine. And then you can use your hands to even look and twist and look over a shoulder and see if that feels good. And if you twist and you look over a shoulder, stretch your eyeballs and enjoy that. And then you can come through center again. And remember to stretch your eyeballs. And then come back to center. Bring your hands to your shins. You can hold onto your shins here. And then you're going to inhale, you're going to roll the spine up. Keep holding your hands on your shins, lifting the chin, the chest. When you get to the top here, pull the elbows back. Keep lifting the chin, the chest. Soften the eyeballs. There's going to be a natural smile on your face, so let it happen. Then again, just round your spine, curl your chin to your chest, reach back, open that back of the space of your heart, and then again, inhale, open the heart. And then exhale, round the spine. Keep moving with your breath. So this is the full moon. So it's going to be a little bit more of a moon practice. Especially when it's moon days, we take the practice a little bit differently. So keep rounding your spine. And also that Pisces energy, super emotional. If you know Pisces. And you have to just smile and adore it. Keep lifting your chin, your chest, and rounding it. And then again, swing the body side to side like you're a hammock in the wind. And just see what's coming up for you, what's showing up. And then slow it down like a pendulum, swinging side to side. Get to the center, slide your hands back to your knees, press your hands into your knees, sit up nice and tall. Exhale out through the mouth like, and again, deep breath in. And then from the bottom part of your navel, just all that breath out. And then have a sound to it. Do that a couple more times. Last time, deep breath in. Be quiet for a moment. If you can imagine the full moon just above you, her brilliance, her beautifulness, her bountifulness, her blissfulness. Her light shines upon you, reached through the crown towards her. It's like a christening. It's like these divine oceans, the cosmic seas, washing through us, blessing us. And in our hearts, we are saying thank you. And thank you for guiding us. And also your arms up towards the sky, reach up. Palms touch, exhale, hands slide down, anoint your third eye, your lips, your heart, your soul. Take a deep breath in and bow chin to chest. Taking this moment here for your desire, your intention, your heartfelt prayer. Let it be known, because we know it is heard. Breathe in, breathe out, interlace your fingers all the way to the webbing, and then press the palms forward, round your chin to your chest, reach the arms up, reach, 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 and then release the fingers and go all the way down to the mat. You can move your bolster, your blanket, whatever that is, out the way. We're going to come onto our, we're going to bend the knees back. Now, if everyone's different, so if you can't sit back like this, you can always place a block on your bottom or a blanket like this as well. And sometimes this will feel good too. We could do a little practice one day with the blanket as well, with sensation. So there's a lot of these different things that we can do. But yeah, just sitting like this, most of the time people wear shoes. On most days, I'd never wear shoes at all. I don't like wearing shoes. I like to walk barefoot as much as I can. But if we wear shoes all the time, we lose connection with the earth. We also lose connection with our body's natural form. And it shortens stuff in our body. Also the way we walk, because nobody taught anybody how to walk. We just started walking and everyone's like, oh, that's cute. Look how they walk. So our feet do all these weird things. So I was thinking we're going to explore the feet. So just sometimes sitting like this, because you're stretching in front of your feet, can feel a little stretchy. So if you need anything, you can lift your hips onto a blanket. That works too. But we're going to start off here. And in yoga, this is called Vajrasana. So thunderbolt. So if we can imagine that thunderbolt, that energy, that power within us, and it's such a simple pose. We think about yoga as, needing to balance on one finger and with our foot behind the head. And sure, in that there is something, but there's also yoga's the simplicity of it is taking a seat. And within the seat, if we can quieten the mind, there's a verse called Prakti Pakshna Bhavana. It's like, well, the easiest way to stop a thought is to just stop thinking. So if the thought annoys you, if the thought is not pleasant, then stop thinking it. Makes no sense. Such nonsense. Why would you be thinking that thought if it makes no sense? So stop thinking. That's step one. Let's tuck our toes under. We're going to sit back on our heels. Now this one could be, depending on your feet, also not so comfortable. You want to bring your baby toes and you pull them forward. You reach back. And then the amount of weight that you put on here is all up to you. So you can have your fingers on the ground. You can also, if it's too much for you, you can bring a blanket under your knees like this. Okay? So when I to sit like this was no problem for me. And then I broke my foot. And I couldn't obviously do this for a very long time. And when I started trying to do it, I didn't think I was going to be able to ever do this again, to be honest. I don't know how I got here. I persevered very gently, but I used props all the time. I always did it with my knees up, and I would just try it out just for a little bit. So even if it's too much, you can always be here with your hips lifted, you know, just sitting like this. So if you're used to always wearing, especially high heel shoes, the bottom of our soles of our feet, they get really tight. And again, also nobody taught us how to walk. So we just, you know, flap our fins out on the surface. And that's how we take our stroll through life. So you can take your left hand up in your lap, and then the right palm on top of that, and the tip of the thumbs are going to touch. You're going to roll the shoulders up towards the ears. You're going to tuck your tailbone underneath you. Lift to the crown of your head. Squeeze your inner ankles towards each other. Let your weight sink into your heels. And any thought that arises that isn't pleasant, just stop it. Just, because even this idea, you could try and figure out where the thought came from. And that's a different story. That takes you into this place of nothingness too. So in the end, this thought is in fact dissolved when we relinquish its power. The power of our mind, the power of our form, the power of our life. Take another deep breath. Breathe all the breath out. Bring the hands down. Just right by your knees, and you need to roll over onto your heels. We're going to go between rolling back like this into like a malasana. Now if your feet can't be all the way together, that's fine. You can make it wider. If your feet can be closer together, that's cool too. We're going to keep our feet where they are. We're just going to roll forward and back. So loosening our ankles, but we can use our hands on the ground. They probably wouldn't put this on the cover of a magazine, so that's okay. So we just want to just open up the ankles. And while we do this, think about as you do this, squeeze your inner ankles together. Squeeze your inner arches towards the midline. That means when I say midline, center plumb line of your body. So when you were breathing and you felt that energy, possibly that space, maybe you sensed like where the spine is, this column of light. They say it exists. Do a couple more of these. You can also, when you bring your heels down, you can stretch your Achilles. I'll tell you a story about ankles in a moment. And this is essential for all of us to ensure as we move on our journey on this planet, in this temple, in this form. Things we can do to take care of ourselves. A couple more times. Maybe this time the heels are back. Walk your hands out in front of you. Your arms on the inside of your knees. And you're going to squeeze your knees to your arms. You're going to drop your head. You're going to close your eyes. You're going to squeeze your tailbone down towards the mat. Find your navel. And then below your navel is like a spot, maybe 2 inches down, 1.5 or so. You know, gently pull that in towards your spine, towards the sacrum. And then curl your chin to your chest, walk your hands forward. Keep squeezing your knees towards your arms. Remember, we're also stretching our lower spine here. I like to sometimes think about this idea that I'm moving maybe the right hip back a little, and then the left. And then I'm
See if I can walk my fingers a little bit further. This is just an idea that I'm moving one hip back and then the other, walking forward, lengthening. And slowly walk the hands back towards you. You're going to press up, straighten your legs. You can bring your feet hip distance apart. Let's look at our beautiful feet. You can bend your knees here and you can wiggle at your bottom. If you've got something, you can place your hands on it. And look at your toes. Just look at your feet, how they're positioned. Maybe one foot slightly turned out. I don't know. Just look at your feet. Don't make any corrections. Look at your toes, how they fall from the foot into the earth. The spaces between them. Even your toenails. Look at the insides of your feet. Say standing, your inner ankles. Look at the tops of your feet, like how they either spread or raised. And then run your fingers down the outer part of your feet here too. Look at the back, the outside part of your feet. And then when you inhale, we're going to come halfway up. You're going to lengthen through your body here. If your fingertips need to be on something, bring them on something. Stay up like this. Start to press your legs towards straight. You can wiggle at your bottom. Find length through the sides of your body. And find your feet on the ground. And then see if you can straighten out your feet. So that, when I say straighten them out, is that if you drew a line on your mat from your second toe all the way down to the middle of your ankle, your second toe all the way down from your ankle, these lines will be parallel, so get your second toes aligned. And then lift your toes up and spread them as wide as they can go, and then bring the baby toe down first, and then that fourth, the middle, the second, the big toe. And then squeeze the mat with your feet as if you're trying to bring the ball of your foot towards your heel. It's like you're trying to suction the earth into the mat. Your feet are like starting to grab the earth. And see if you can lengthen your upper body. You can lightly start to micro bend your knees and stick your bottom back. You can bring your hands onto your hips and use your hands on your hips to press your thigh bones back. Keep your knees softly bent, straight into your spine. Bring your elbows up towards the sky. Breathe in here. Keep holding the feet. Exhale the breath out. And then press into your legs. You're going to come up with a straight spine. Keep your feet engaged. Release the fingertips down. Inhale, arms up. You're going to reach up. Reach your fingers. Exhale, side body stretch towards the right. Reaching up. And over. Up. Over. And then reaching up. Opposite side. And then reach up. Stretch the body. Close your eyes for a moment. See if you can find that space in your body that you felt earlier on. So soften where you need to. If you feel like you're straining to reach up, let your shoulder blades melt down your spine. From your feet, reach through the tips of the fingers. And then exhale, slowly lower your hands down towards the mat. Let's inhale, swing the arms up again. Reach up. Again, side body stretch. Find your feet on the mat. Press through the soles of the feet. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, opposite side. And reach up. And then exhale, hands down into the heart center. Close your eyes. Find your feet. The space that you take here on this planet. These are the prints that you're going to leave. Feel the print that you make. Make it with confidence. So you can stand a little tall in your space. Feel your feet, your soles, walking this earth walk.
your souls working on earth. It's your soul connection to earth. If your feet feel like they're gripping, see if you can relax them. Let your knees soften. You can gently lift and spread the toes again. Reach them further away from each other. Keep your eyes closed if you can. Just find your balance in this. Bring each toe down. The big toe especially, push it down. And then see if you can pull again your ball of the foot towards the heel. So you feel on the insides of your legs this energy that rises up all the way on the inside of your legs. It's like your inner groins actually want to curl back. And press back into your feet. Make the legs a little bit straighter, stronger. Lift your chin and your chest a little. Stay nice and tall. And from here, inhale, reach your arms up. You know, exhale, you're going to fold forward. Just bend the knees on the way down here, especially if you've got any back stuff. Bend the knees here. And actually, this is so much better for your spine. As you bend the knees, hands to the mat. Dangle here. Just move the head softly side to side. Then inhale, come halfway up. If you've got a blanket in the way, just move it out to the side. Hands under the shoulders, step back to a high plank. So we've been standing. The same thing applies. Our feet, when we leave in a high plank, we have to use them. We can't just like be hanging out like this. We have to press into our heels. We want the heels to be right over the balls of the feet. We want to use our toes. We're not just letting them like get a stretch. Maybe we can stretch them. Let's do that. Then when you press the toes down, then your inner ankles, you want to squeeze towards the midline. And then your outer part of your outer heel, you want to press that back equally. Let's breathe in here. Breathe out here. And then we're going to drop our heels towards the left. So we're going to take a little Vashisthasana. So if you want to, there's variations here. You can cross your legs. You can also bring your bottom knee down. Or you can, if you've got this in you, you can like stack your legs. So now try this one. Stacking this. Squeeze your legs towards the midline. Draw your navel in. Flex your feet. Even if you're in this scissoring, kind of bouncy today, must be that full moon energy. It's like bubbles reaching up. And now we get to roll that right hand back down towards the mat. Bend your knees. Bring your knees softly down. Keep your toes tucked under. Bring your hips to your heels. A little stretch through the side body. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, come forward. But really use your arms to pull the body forward. It's like your arms are glued towards the mat. Hands press into the earth. Lift your chest. We're going to stay here in this high plank again. Find your feet. It's like we want the energy in our legs and our feet to be alive. So as we take in each step on this planet, we're doing this with purpose. Then we need to roll the heels towards the right and stack your hips, stack your feet here, or you can scissor your legs. You're going to press into the bottom hand, lift your arm up. If you need to, you can bring that bottom knee down towards the mat too. You want to gently press your hips forward. You can dangle your head, whatever feels right. Take another fresh breath in. And hand down towards the mat. Roll back to a high plank. The arms are a little tired here. Knees down towards the mat, hips to the heels. Keep your arms nice and strong and straight. A little reprieve here. You're stretching your arms out. So breathing here. Imagine your hands are glued to the mat. Spread the fingers wide open. Even the palms of your hands are like feet. You press every fingertip down. Pad. You claw the mat. You open the inside of your palm and you press the palms down. And then you're going to inhale, come back into this high plank. Then exhale, knees down towards the mat, hips to the heels. You do that a couple more times. We're going to inhale, come forward. So just strengthening, right? Shoulders over the wrists. You can hang out here for a moment.
and then knees down. And you can go at your own pace too. I'll just give you some tips. So keep going with your breath. You inhale forward. If you want to, when you forward, hold this for a little bit longer on your inhale, and then imagine that you can squeeze your heels of your hands towards your feet, and then knees down. So it becomes a little bit of a core workout too if you want to. Otherwise, you just keep going forward and back. You can do a couple, or you just go forward and back. But don't lose sight of your feet. If you want to really challenge yourself, maybe you let your knees hover off the mat. And you can bend your knees and you feel it in your quadriceps too. But remember, your inner ankles, you want to squeeze them. Next time you come forward to the high plank, stay there for a moment. Press the ground away from you. The knees back down towards the mat. This time walk the hands forward. Puppy pose at Hatasana. So you can bring here your forehead to the mat, or you can bring your chin, whatever feels comfortable. Sometimes you can bring your whole front of your chest. Each day is going to feel different. However warm your arms feel right now. The deeper you'll be able to go, but just take it a moment, like maybe a little bit less, because we are in that place of the full moon. So we feel a bit more liquidy. So we practice on a moon, we go a little bit more gentle. Don't go too deep. Close your eyes for a moment here. Breathe deep into your body. Breathe in. Breathe out. And bring awareness into your hands too. So spread your fingers on the mat. Imagine that you can claw the mat as you draw your shoulder blades down your spine. So there's a gentle stretching through your upper armpits. One more. And then slowly begin to walk your hands back towards your knees. So you're sitting on your heels. You're going to curl yourself up. You're going to bring the arms up towards the sky. Reach up. You're going to do this little wiggle thing, side to side. We're going to take a little twist. Left hand forward, right hand back. Use your hand on your hip. Push your hips forward, lift your chin in your chest. Inhale up. Opposite side. And you can stretch your eyeballs. Look over your shoulder. Inhale up. Arms at a T. This time you're going to take the right arm under the leg. So this is depending on your shoulders. You're going to cross hide the elbows here. You can either hold on to your opposite shoulder like this, or if you can take Garidasana arms. The shoulders and forearms going to wrap so that the right arm is under, and then it wraps like a snake, if you will, a flame. The thumbs, they can rest right there at the point of the third eye. And soften your face. Take a full breath in. Now we're going to inhale, we're going to lift our bottom up, press the hips forward, keep the hands where they are. Squeeze your inner ankles and lift the elbows up in a soft back bend here. Remember to squeeze your inner ankles, use your feet. And then slowly begin to release the hands out towards a T. Stretch the arms out. And then inhale, arms up towards the sky, side body stretch. Reaching up. Opposite side. Reaching up. Slowly lower the hips towards the mat, and I mean slowly. Like take your time here. Your arms going to slowly come down with you. Squeeze your inner heels together. And this time, the left comes under the right. Again, you can either take that nice hug, or you can take Garidasana arms. So you weave that lower part of the arm. You're going to lift the elbows up so that same height as your shoulders. Then your shoulders are going to come forward like this, so pull the shoulder blades back. Press the hands lightly away from your face and then position the thumbs
to meet on the third eye. Breathe in. Breathe out, soften your jaw. Squeeze your inner ankles together. You're going to inhale, you're going to lift the hips. This time, point your toes back. Reach the elbows up. Start to press the hips forward. Lifting at the elbows, reaching up and back. Up. And then slowly start to release the hands out towards a T. And gently start to release the hips towards the heels. Take your time here. The hands can lower at the same rate as the hips. Pressing into the tops of the feet as you lower the hips. Fingertips softly dangling onto the mat. You're going to inhale, press back up. Press into the tops of the feet, reach up. Hook your thumbs, bend the elbows. Nice back bend here. Press into the tops of your feet. Baby toe side especially, reach up. Exhale, hands float down to your auric space. All the way towards the mat. Reach back up. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, hands down towards the mat. Tuck the toes under. Press into a downward facing dog. Breathe in here. Breathe out. You can open the mouth and sigh the breath out if that feels good. Bend your knees here. Lift your sit bones. Squeeze your inner ankles towards the midline of the mat so they're not pressing all the way out. You want to gently draw the inner ankles as if you're holding a block between your ankles. It's a little bit wider than your hips. Press into your hands. Soften your elbows. Quieten the mind. All your thoughts just drop out one by one. Duk, duk, duk. Inhale the right leg up. Square your hip towards the ground. Your toes are going to dangle down towards the mat. Drop your head. Look towards your toes. Then press your knee to your nose as your shoulders come over your wrists. Then step this foot lightly forward. Keep your back heel lifted. The tips of the fingers. Reach the crown of the head away from your knee. Pull this right hip back. You're going to press into this front foot here. Look at your toes. Lift the toes and spread them wide. Find the inside of your ankle and press into the inner part of your ankle. Start to lift your tips of the fingers off the mat. Press into this front foot. You want to keep this knee gently bent. Hip pressing back. Keep pressing to this front foot. Walk your fingertips a little bit further forward. You're going to glide this left leg up. So you're standing on your right foot. Lift your toes, spread them wide open. We do that same action. Place the toes back down to the mat. Then you're going to squeeze the ball of your foot towards the heel, lifting your inner arch. That line of energy reach through the center line of your leg and pull your outer hip back. Take another deep breath. And I slowly lower this lifted leg back towards the mat, hands flat. Step back to a downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet left and right. You're going to inhale, come forward to a high plank. Take your right hand about a hand print forward. Glide your heels towards the right side and slowly lower your right body down towards the mat. It's all mermaid in the ocean. Flex your feet. Feel the stretch to the side body here. All the way down this line of energy, down the outer part of your leg. You can follow that line of energy out through the baby toe, out through the outer heel. Take another deep breath. You can bring both hands back towards the mat. Find your way back, downward facing dog. Pedal out your feet, left and right. Shake out the head.
You're going to lift the left leg up, toes face down towards the mat. Press into your hands. Press into that right heel. And lift onto the ball of the foot, exhale, meet your nose. See if you can touch. Press into your hands, lift your head, step your foot lightly forward. Look at your back foot, make sure the heel is right over the ball of the foot. Remember, in all of this, we're using our feet. The foundation of the house, the roots. Look at your foot, spread the toes wide open. You can even manually take your hand, lift up the baby toe, then the fourth in the middle, second toe. Find your inner arch. Press the ball of the foot towards the heel. This left hip, pull it back. And light on the tips of the fingers. Back leg is strong and straight. Breathe here. Maybe we dangle the fingers. Then we're going to bend into this front knee and lift up the right leg. Toes face down towards the mat. Even this lifted leg. You can micro bend the standing leg. Lift the toes. Spread them wide open. Bring them down. Find your ball of your foot and your heel. Squeeze. Lifting through the inner thigh. Pull this lifted. The standing leg, the hip back. Breathing in. Breathing out. Lower the lifted leg down towards the mat. Hands flat. And then feet together. Take this left palm slightly out. Heels together. And we're going to roll towards this left side. The legs stay together. Or as best as they can. Use your hands to lift your body. Remember your feet. Find that line of energy through the side body. Listening to your breath and your breathing. Big inhaling. Big exhaling. Roll back towards your tummy. Hands underneath you, tuck the toes under, lift your hips all the way downward facing dog. Gently pedal out the feet left and right. And then inhale to the balls of the feet. Keep the thighs nice and strong. And then slowly, gently, taking your time. Knees melting to the mat. Walk the hands out in front of you into that puppy pose. Your choice here to keep your toes tucked under or toes pointed. Slide a little bit forward, so maybe a little bit further forward than before. Breathing in. Breathing out. Let's take 2 more big breaths. And we walk the hands all the way back towards us. Take your toes under again. Sit back on your heels. Palms down on your thighs. Find your inner ankles. Maybe you locate your baby toes. Pull them gently forward. Just noting how your feet feel. Feel different than before. Fingertips down towards the mat. You're going to roll over. So coming into Malasana. Around your body. And slowly lower your hips towards the mat. So grab your ball. And we're going to just roll gently, because we've done a lot of work on the feet. We don't want to do too much stuff, but just gently roll the ball from the heel of the foot all the way to the toes. So, as everybody knows, all the reflexes of the body are in the feet. So this is that benefit, right?
We're going just lightly because we've been working on the feet a lot, so we don't want to nothing that needs to feel like it's been overworked. So you can start to gently scribble on your foot. You're like, this was an old idea. I'm scribbling it away. I'm so mad at whatever that was, so I'm just going to get all my out of it. If anything arises, you can just and just take a moment to like straighten out your leg and feel your foot. Remember, that was just gentle, right? Nothing extreme. You can wrap that foot underneath you, so maybe you can sit up here and we're going to bring the ball underneath the opposite foot. And again, just start making like lines from the heel to the big toe. You're drawing up and down the foot. Like you were pretending you were going to write a letter. Like, this is the letter I want to write. I'm going to stick in these lines. Because everybody writes on a page with lines, because that's what they taught us in school. But now I'm going to take that old idea and I'm going to scribble over it. I want to make my own things as my own drawing. So you can imagine that you're so passionate about what you're drawing. It's like you try to make the colors as bright as possible. And sometimes in some of that, some kind of energy will arise. So you can also just let it all go. We can do this on the other foot, but we can do this on this left foot. We can bring the heel down. We can gently press. It's almost in the middle of the foot. Just halfway into the ankle and outside, you're going to gently press. And even right at the base of the ball of the foot, there's like a little divot there. You can feel it. You gently press. It's like you stretch the front of your... See all the metatarsals stretching open, that space. And then just lengthen out the leg, feel your toes. This foot says it wants that like little extra love, so let's bring the right foot down. We're going to press. Maybe right at the base of the heel and the soft tissue meet. And then you can trace the ball towards that point, like just at the base of the ball of the foot, there's a nice little divot there. You can press your heel into the mat and then use the weight of your ball of your foot to spread it over the ball. It gives it a nice stretch. You can wiggle your toes out a little. You probably haven't been in that position for a while. You move the ball out the way. We'll use that another time. And then just take your hand on your ankle, make some circles. Feels like there's some energy in the feet that we need to release. Maybe there's little cracks. There's a lot of cracks, possibly when we haven't been using our feet and now we've loosened it all up. A lot of air in the foot, being ungrounded. And then do the other side. Wiggle the toes, wiggle the necks of the feet, spread them wide open. Circle the ankle. Find your own little pattern here. The feet feel a little different than before. More space possibly. And bring your legs together. Flex your toes and spread them wide open. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands down next to the hips. Press the hands into the hips. Inhale, reach the crown of the head. Exhale, chin to your chest. Look to the point of the nose. Long, slow, deep breathing. Listen to your breath. Navel expands. Exhale, breath out. Keep breathing. Make your legs nice and strong and straight. Dandasana, staff pose. Reach through the crown of your head. Find length through your spine, especially out from the pelvis. Legs are strong. Engage them. Find your inner thighs, your inner knees, your inner ankles, inner feet. Keep the toes spreading wide open. Take another deep breath. And we're going to inhale, reach up. And exhale, we're going to fold forward. Maybe your hands can grab your feet. You look at your feet. You give your feet a little like nudge on the toes, spread the toes, give them a little like massage. I like to pull them a little. There we go. I can take my balls of the feet and I can massage the balls of my feet a little. And at some point, I'm just going to inhale and exhale, just fold in. Paschimottanasana is forward folding. Reach through the balls of your feet, through the heels of your feet. Squeeze your inner thighs towards each other, the inner heels. Push your thigh bones down. Use your inhale to lengthen your spine. Find your exhale to fold deeply in, softening your groins, pressing the thigh bones down. Find length in your body. Find space. Think you catching the wave, the ocean wind. It's a sense of release. So we go on the tides of this full moon. Know that what all arises, all is well. Let's take another deep breath. Fold in. Hands to the earth. Around the spine. Draw the body up. Walk the hands all the way up. Roll the shoulders towards the ears and back. Hands towards the sky, reach up. Exhale, roll the body down. Taking your time. Squeeze your inner thighs, reach through the fingertips. Squeeze those inner thighs, roll the body down. Keep the feet nice and flexed. And take your time. Melting vertebra by vertebra down to the earth. Gently slide your heels in towards your chest. Rock softly side to side. Let your whole spine melt into the earth. Just let your breath be. Inhaling. Exhaling. Let's do this. Straighten your legs. We're going to straighten them. Keep your knees softly bent, but you're going to reach your feet towards the sky. And then your fingers. You're going to start to shake your fingers and your feet. Just shake your fingers and your feet. It may look funny on the screen, but no one's watching. Just watch. Feel. Shake your fingers and your feet. Just like let them wiggle. Like don't hold on to anything. And then let the knees come into your chest. Gently rock side to side. Reach the feet straight up towards the sky. Bring your hands out in a 45-degree angle. Press the palms down. Slowly lower your legs towards the mat so you can keep your whole lower spine on the mat. Press your heels. If you need to bend your knees, you bend your knees. So you can bring your feet down if you need to. Or you take your legs straight down to the mat. And then you're going to lift your hands away from the mat, maybe half an inch. Turn the palms up. Reach through your heels. Flex your toes towards your shins. So you can lift your heels like half an inch up or so. Press your heels forward and away from you. So you can reach your fingertips away from you. Lift your head just a little. Reach your head away from you. And then with all that reaching away, just release into the mat. Just connect your breath. Connect to your breathing. Let your body relax. Drop the knees into the mat. Drop the body into the mat. Drop the feet. Drop the head. Your arms. Your legs. Your body. Drop all parts of your body. Deeply and fully into the earth. sanctuary. Sanctuary gives more than refuge and release. It gives renewal. If you need time to rest and renew yourself, creating a sanctuary might be helpful. I often ask worship participants how they would feel in a white room. Those who feel comfortable with it may find an image as a useful place for free of stimulation that they can use as a sanctuary. Similar to Shabbat, a sanctuary offers you a chance to rest and do another kind of work, inner work, done in a place free of distractions. You can create a sanctuary anywhere. You only have to close a door, enjoy a pleasant aroma, a sound, a sight. You can create this with a candle, painting a scene, playing music. All you need to do is to close the door and let people know that you are taking sanctuary time. In your sanctuary, give yourself the gift of quiet time. Take the phone off the hook. Turn off all the appliances, radios, televisions. Most of all, turn off your mind. Bring peace home. Be still and know. So today, you do not need to leave the room you are sitting in to create sanctuary. It can be a real place, or even one in your mind, your corner of the universe. So finding your breath, discovering your breathing, allowing your breath to move through you, finding your feet, wiggling the toes, allow your breath to move into your arms, to your fingers, wiggling the fingers. Feel the breath move into your head, your nose, wiggle the nose. And gently, with all your wiggling, allow the mind to come back into the space, feeling the body rested, reset in its perfect sanctuary, grounded and rooted and rooted and grounded. Make some circles with the wrists and the feet, ankles. And then gently pull the arms over your head, stretching the body on the mat. Take a big breath in here, point and flex the toes. Spread them wide open, feel your feet, wiggle the toes. Tell them that you promise to take more attention of them. And then roll to whichever side feels comfortable. Curl the knees to your chest. Rest. Breathing in. Breathing out, and simply seeing yourself walking through life. Powerfully rooted and grounded. Each footprint purposely placed. Let's breathe in. Breathe out. And find yourself seated. Your hands at the place of your heart. Palms resting one on top of the other. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just bowing in, giving gratitude for this space and this place and this opportunity to be here together. From my heart to yours, may you always be blessed. Namaste. Thank you so much for taking the time to share this space with me. I adore you. I'm going to pull us a card and see what a card has for us today. Breathing in deeply, breathing out fully. One more. Oh, I like this one. I'm not going to take it super literally because it says pregnancy. But we've been talking about the embryo. We've been talking about the embryo, and the moon is full in the back, and she's got this soft pink dress on, her wings, and it's a beautiful forest, and the forest has been coming up a lot. We have full moon here. And again, it says the birth of a child brings great blessings to you and the world. It feels like, obviously, we can take it literally too. But in the greater perspective that we're watching going on in the space, the message keeps occurring that there's something to be delivered. There's something that's to be delivered. Obviously, we can give the idea that our projects are birthing. She looks more than halfway pregnant. So, arrival could be soon-ish. Doesn't mean that what arrives is going to come in the way that we think it's going to come. That's the great mystery. So the best advice is it says, blessings to you and the world. And I was told this yesterday by one of my teachers with the project that I'm helping him with. He says, when we were living in our Dharma and we're serving, so my project is I'm helping him with his website. I'm beautifying it, if you will. I'm bringing a little bit of Shakti energy, as he would call it. But he said to me, the work that I'm doing, it's so part of this greater story. So he gave me this perception of every small, like you may say, well, how's your day going? This is how conversations start. How's your day going? I'm like, right now I'm good. And he said, right now is good. And I was like, oh, but in the greater story. And I was like, I don't want to go there. But then he reminded me the work that I'm doing, maybe I'm making a graphic from a simplistic point of view. There's an exchange of energy too. But this potential energy is part of a greater story of somebody's awakening, of somebody being somehow, because the website looks right, as a simplified example, takes them not to find me or to my teacher, but awakens them, self-realizes them on their path. So every bit of the work that we're doing is absolutely profound. And so there's this idea, this embryo has been showing that we're moving on a pathway, on a passage, foundations and roots. And I saw this practice that I wanted to do for the next couple of weeks. I don't know how long it will be specifically, but I think it's to do with emotional body healing, but it's to connect us with our physical form. Like, what greater thing is birthing a physical being onto this planet? It's like the ripeness of the body in order to birth something, the ripeness, the tree, the flowers, everything has this perfect harmony. And it is Pisces full moon. It's an end of a cycle from that perspective too. So something is ending as we're watching it in the world. There's this divine feminine that's, again, she's ripening. That's the words. She's ripening. So that is guidance. At least there's more to the stories, if you will. So from my heart to yours, may you have a blessed and beautiful day. I look forward to seeing you all again soon.